Hey guys, welcome to Bipolar Boxing. We're gonna do some UFC Freedom 250 picks. This one is gonna be between Bo Nickel and Kyle Dauskas. Um, I mean, I could watch Kyle Dawkins his whole career. I'm not impressed with him. I'm not that impressed. He did knock out my boy Michel Pereira in his last fight. This is his second stint in the UFC. He got cut after losing to I believe it was Roman Dolidze and my boy Eric Anders, Roll Tide. But other than that, like he got cut after that. He had a few wins before that, but it was guys like Jamie Pickett. He lost to Brendan Allen, I know too, in the UFC. But since he's come back, yeah, he's got two wins. But those two wins are very suspect. I mean, hey, you could only fight who's in front of you, but Gerald Mearshart, I don't think I've ever bet Gerald Mearshart in a fight. I will bet against that guy every single time because all he has is that dumb Hail Mary triangle or Hail Mary armbar off of his back after he gets fucking clocked and gets knocked down. But sometimes it happens, and it happens a lot for Gerald Mearshart. But yeah, so he beat Mearshart, and then he beats Michel Pereira, which that's a great win. Pereira was the favorite. I did bet Pereira in that fight, thinking he was just going to knock him out, and he almost did in that first round. But I heard Michael Bisping telling a story about that fight because that fight I believe was in like China, I believe it was somewhere over in Asia. I think it was a long ways away, and he said that Pereira, the day of the fight, the morning of the fight, was down in the gym area, like powerlifting, like doing like, cleans and stuff like that, like powerlifting movements. The day of the morning of the fight, he was down there working out like an animal. And of course he just got clocked. He probably, gassed out a little bit too. The guy gasses out all the time, and that's why. But so Pereira, that just happens with him a lot. Like he's just a all around striker, and but that's why that guy's never going to get to the top. He's always going to be like right there. He can string 5 6 wins together, whatever. Eventually you're going to face a wrestler who's just going to take you down, or somebody that could just withstand your onslaught. And then in this, wait for the 2 minutes into the second round when you're walking around drunk because you can't stand up. And that's what happened to Pereira sometimes. So yeah, Daukaus beat him, but I don't hold him or Mearshart's wins that high. Now Bo Nickel doesn't have any great wins on his resume either. You're beating guys like, I believe he beat Jamie Pickett also, Cody Brundrich. Like those are wins. It's like, hey, Bo Nickel's in the UFC, but he is still learning. So they kind of gave him a few layups in there, and I firmly believe that that's what guys like Mearshart, Pickett, and Brundage are doing in the UFC. It's like, hey, you're not really like UFC level fighters. Let's be honest. Like right now, you're not. But you're there to give some guys in the UFC a tough chance, and also let people know where you are. Because if you can't beat guys like that, you're gonna be on the cut list. Like you're not gonna get cut, but like people be watching you when you lose to guys like that. So there is a place for them in the UFC. I shouldn't really say they're not UFC or just not UFC talent. I don't see. But yeah, so Bo Nickel's beating everybody that's thrown in front of him too. But it's just I think Bo Nickel's potential is a lot higher than Daukaus. And Daukaus is good at he really good stand up. I believe he's a tall, thin guy. I think he's gonna have a few inches on Bo Nickel. I didn't really look at that just because I didn't do much research for this fight, just because it's just Bo Nickel. Like I just think he's gonna wrestle fuck the shit out of him. And it's just hard not to see the fight going that way. And I look, I understand why Bo Nickel lost to Henner the Ritter. Henner the Ritter is fucking huge for that weight class. And Henner the Ritter is a BJJ ace, and he's just good at stopping takedowns. He knew that he has BJJ, and if that was anybody else other than Bo Nickel, maybe he would welcome going to the ground and then reversing in a scramble or something like that, get in a dominant position. But he don't mind. He'll play guard with you if he wants to because he's so strong from the back. He can sweep you, and he can also get subs from his back because he's one of the best jujitsu guys that's ever competed in the UFC. He just came over to the UFC a little too late, DeRitter, in my opinion. But He's not going against a guy like that who could stop takedowns. I looked up Daukaus's takedown defense. Yeah, it's 82%. I'll go ahead and list you those 82% that he's stopping takedowns on. And it's let me see. So for his whole UFC career, you got UFC debut Brandon Allen. Brandon Allen's kind of I wouldn't call him a takedown specialist. He's definitely not a wrestler. Like he does more of a. It takes him a while to get takedowns. He's not going to hit you with a blast double or whatever. He's going to wind you down around the cage. He's going to try and roll around to your back and get good position and everything. But he's not a wrestler. So he's not somebody that can just like I said, blast double leg, take you down and stuff like that. So that's not really a takedown specialist guy. Dustin Stolfus definitely isn't one. Phil Hawes definitely isn't one. Kevin Holland, definitely not. Jamie Pickett, definitely not. Delidze, little bit, but he lost to Delidze. Eric Anders is a wrestler, but he lost to Eric Anders by ground and pound in round two. Um, then that's when he got cut and he went over to CFC. I don't know much of these guys that over in CFC. I don't watch that promotion. But yeah, then he comes back and he fights Michelle Pereira and Gerald Mearshart. None of those are takedown specialists. So Bo Nickel is, and he's probably the best in the UFC at doing that. So, and I believe he trains at American Top Team still. So, like, I just got to go with Bo Nickel. Bo Nickel can always be getting better. The only thing you would have to worry about here is a Hail Mary knockout, pretty much, or a lucky punch. I just don't see Bo Nickel. The other route to victory would for Daukaus, other than a KO, would be if Bo Nickel goes for the first takedown he attempts, will pretty much tell the whole fight. If he gets Daukaus to the ground, within the first 2 minutes of the first round, because I believe he's going to stand up for like a minute, minute and a half. But then eventually his corner will yell out, 3 minutes, 3 minutes or something. And then I think he shoots for a takedown. And if he gets that takedown, I think it's going to be an easy night for him. If he doesn't, things could get interesting because that's what happens to those wrestlers. Yeah, you rely on that, and when it works great because you just lay on top of that guy the whole time. But when you don't, those wrestlers get really frustrated. They also get very tired because a wrestler like that, he doesn't just give up on his takedowns. He keeps trying them because that's all he's got. Even when stand-up fighters get tired, they go for takedowns, like the infamous McGregor versus Diaz. McGregor went for a takedown against Nate Diaz in that first fight. But yeah, it's just as simple as I'm not betting against Bo Nickel. This is another one where they want to showcase Bo Nickel. So I'll ride with you. Like, yeah, let's showcase them and let's get a nice easy victory here and just pound out a nice little 3 rounds, just a 3-0. I mean, that's the only way I could see this fight going. I think if Nickel loses a round, he'll lose the entire fight because I think he's either going to be really dominant or he's going to lose. It's not going to be a close fight that Bo Nickel ekes out a split decision or something like that. If things do not go Bo Nickel's way, I think he's going to get destroyed in this fight. I just think things are going to go his way. I don't think Daukaus can stop his takedowns. He doesn't have the experience in the UFC. He is a Philadelphia fighter, so he might train at that. I think there's a Cesar Gracie camp over there. It's in Philly or New Jersey, one of those two places, and that's where a lot of those Philly guys train. Like I think Felder and them trained over there. But yeah, I'm not going for Daukaus. Like I completely understand people who are just going to look at this card and be like, "Hey man, I'm watching it as a casual. I'm just going to bet all underdogs." I don't mind doing that on this card if I didn't pay much attention to UFC, but it's hard for me to I've watched Daukaus' entire career. I've watched Bo Nickel's entire career. Like Bo Nickel has that thing that he can get to, and that's his wrestling. Dalkis doesn't really have that. Like he strikes really good against other guys that he knows are going to stand up and strike with him. And this is the last point I'll make about Dalkis is your striking's a lot better against other guys who are going to stand up and strike. Because in the UFC, when you don't have to worry about that takedown, it adds a lot to your striking realm. Like wrestlers don't have to worry really about getting taken down. So that's why their striking is kind of heightened because they're not worried about takedown defense. Where the other guy, like a Stephen Thompson or something like that, he's great on the feet. He's amazing. Some of that has to have you have to have defense for takedowns. You have to have it. So when that goes through your mind, that's a whole nother game that you got to be ready to take. And it's a bitch. It's grueling. It tires you out and everything like that. And like I said, so I think his striking is going to be diminished a little bit because he's so worried about the takedowns. And Nickal, who is not good at striking whatsoever, his striking will be heightened because of his takedown threats. So that's the only thing I'll say about this fight. But Bo Nickal, easy 3-0, 30-27 on all three scorecards. It's the only way I can really see this fight going. Have a good night, guys.